Hello and welcome to Forever Motorsports on Forever Sports. Just coming at you after the first practice session in Monaco. Quite an interesting session that we had with a lot of testing going on. Of course, the Mercedes bring major upgrades this race weekend, as well as a few small upgrades from other teams with the likes of McLaren and Haas, as well as Williams, who have brought a new rear wing here in Monaco. Just going to look at the top 10 to start off with, and then we will talk a little bit more about what happened in the session. We have Carlos Sainz, who managed to top the time boards with a 113.3, quite quickly breaking the 114s here in Monaco, closely followed by Fernando Alonso, only 0.3 seconds behind the chart topper of Carlos Sainz. Behind him was Lewis Hamilton in that upgraded Mercedes with their new side pods, followed by Sergio Perez, the top Red Bull at the moment in P4. Then the second Ferrari of Charles Leclerc down in P5, of course, being the Monegasque's home race here in Monaco. Max Verstappen then down in P6, Lando Norris in the slightly upgraded McLaren in P7, Esteban Ocon in P8, Lance Stroll, the second Aston Martin, all the way down in P9. Quite a bit of a difference between the two Aston Martin teammates, with Fernando Alonso being in P2 and Lance Stroll down in P9. And then all the way down in P10, we have Alex Albon, who had quite a good session up until the very last 2 minutes, where he managed to completely shunt his car. And it is a bit of an unknown at the moment whether he is even able to get into practice 2 due to the amount of damage that he has caused to his car, breaking both the front left as well as the rear left, which could cause a gearbox change to have to happen in that Williams garage. So quite a lot of work for the Williams mechanics to do between this first practice and second practice session. Then moving on to the bottom 10, we have Valtteri Bottas down in P11, Kevin Magnussen in 12th, Yuki Tsunoda, who has also been quite a lot of talk with the Honda powertrains moving across to Aston Martin, down in P13, Pierre Gasly in P14 for the Alpines, George Russell in that second Mercedes, not finding as much pace as his teammate Lewis Hamilton down in P15. Nick de Vries in P16, Oscar Piastri down in P17, who also had a bit of a blunder this practice session, not due to his own fault though, but due to his mechanics, doing a practice pit stop and putting on that right rear, I think a little bit too hard, and possibly breaking the I don't know what it was that broke, but he just completely lost drive and had to come back into the pits. Then after Logan Sargent, Guan Yu Zhou, or Zhou Guan Yu rather, down in P19, and Nico Hulkenberg down in P20, also having a bit of a shunt, losing it in turn 10 and hitting his rear left on the wall there. They're completely stripping that tire off of the rim, and also just having to nurse his car back into the pits and not getting any more running for the rest of that session. Was quite an interesting session though, with the likes of the Mercedes showing some pace. Well, the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, that is. George Russell not seeming to be as comfortable in the upgraded Mercedes as Lewis Hamilton. Lots of upgrades though taking place on the Mercedes with their new side pods, as well as what you can't see as much is those new front suspension stays being mounted quite a lot higher than previously, just to help with a lot of the stability stability and drivability of that car. So hopefully we will see Mercedes being able to compete a bit more closely this race weekend. So far, though, it looks like the Ferraris are very competitive this weekend. Will we be able to see a final P1 for Charles Leclerc in his home race? I mean, he's been able to take the top of the qualifying results before, but never has he been able to win in his home Grand Prix. Will we see that change this weekend, or will we see the Red Bulls once again being absolutely dominant in Monaco? Of course, this race weekend is so dependent on your qualifying results, as it is so difficult to overtake due to the narrowness of the street circuit, as well as these new modern F1 cars just being so wide and so long. But we will have to see what happens in the next qualifying session later today. Certainly going to be keeping our eyes out on that. We hope to see you there alongside with us very soon, but that has been us for Free Practice 1. Thank you very much.